So I've been working out consistently for 8 years now, mostly fitness, and for the past 3 years I've also been running regularly. Over that time I tried different routines, made a lot of mistakes. Woke up at 11 a.m. today and figured that if I take a shower I might feel better, but I don't know if I feel better. And learned what actually works for the body long term. Some of the biggest lessons had nothing to do with pushing harder, but with things like recovery, nutrition, and how you treat your body before and after a workout. In this video, I want to share the most important things 8 years of staying active has taught me. If you're trying to build a healthier, more sustainable fitness routine, these are the lessons I wish I had known from the beginning. Hi friends, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Kubra. Here I make videos on self-growth, building your dream life, becoming your best self, all things aesthetics. So if that resonates with you, I would love for you to stick around. If you want to see my visual diary and my personal life, you can also check out my Instagram and Pinterest. Now let's get into the video. So I've been working out regularly since I was 20. Right now I'm 28 years old. It's very hard to imagine and hard to comprehend that it's been already 8 years, but there has been many things that I learned throughout this process, and I want to share 4 very fundamental and beneficial information with you today. And the first one is lifestyle is forever. What I mean by that is, when I first got started with fitness, there was a goal in my mind, and I was really adamant with building my booty, because my body back then was basically like a stick and no feminine shapes at all. It really got me to a point where, okay, I'm gonna make it happen and all of you are gonna see this. So I got started with booty and leg workouts. Then I said, okay, let's not just do that, but I want to train my full body like every now and then. And then I integrated that, and that was like all fun. Like I was not pushing myself, I was enjoying the process. And then I was like, okay, let's do the upper body. So when we have a shape, it's a, balanced, holistic, aesthetically pleasing an entire look. It's been 2 to 3 years and it became my standard. Like waking up knowing that I have my workout routine, I'm gonna train, I don't know, arms today. It's a non-negotiable. I have to do it and I want to do it. It became my lifestyle. From that point I knew that I cannot imagine a life without working out, without being active. I can't envision a life without it. It's who I am now. It became my identity. Whoever says fitness or working out is life-changing, it's right. It really changes your life. It really changes your identity and how you look at your life. It changes your standards, therefore your health standards. The process also changes your goals. So don't push the process. If you're ever thought about starting fitness, don't feel under pressure that you should have this goal oh, I want to be super snatched and this should be my life now, it should be a non-negotiable. No, all of these things are gonna happen over time naturally, and you will want to work out because it's your life now. This is one of the most common mistakes people do when they want to start working out, because they think I should have this ideal, I should have this super logical and huge reason to start working out, and I have to stick to it, but I don't want to, but I have to do it, blah 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 blah. And then resistance comes into place and you don't feel like doing it, but just trust the process. Honestly, my reason to start working out, looking in hindsight, it sounds so superficial. It is still one of my goals today, but I don't hate my body. I love my body and I love working out. One thing I've learned from working out consistently for so many years is that growth never happens in isolation. Yes, discipline matters. Yes, routine matters. But the people you surround yourself with, that changes everything. And people say you are the average of the 5 friends you surround yourself with for a reason. And that's actually why today's sponsor, Time Left, feels very aligned with this video. Fitness taught me that environments shape you. When you're around motivated, inspiring, open-minded people, you naturally level up without even realizing. Based on my experience, I know how I show up when I'm around people that don't like working out, and I know how I act when I go to a gym, when I go to a run club and meet runners there. Time Left is built around that same idea, creating real life connections through curated dinners. And of course, you don't meet random people. When you sign up, you fill out a quick questionnaire about who you are, your preferences, and what you're looking for. And based on that, the algorithm matches you with people it thinks you will genuinely get along and connect with, which makes the whole experience feel thoughtful and genuine. I personally use Time Left so many times, and I continue to meet really great, interesting, and cool people through it. And just like in fitness, sometimes growth happens when you put yourself in the right room. If you want to give it a try, you can use my code Gabriella to get a 25% off your first dinner booking as a new user. Thank you so much to Time Left for sponsoring today's video. And now let's get into the second lesson I've learned over the years. 2. No food, no gain. People say no pain, no gain, but I like to say no food, no gain. This is something that I've learned very late in my fitness journey. I think this is a very, beginner's mistake that I've also done. You just think that if you want to build muscle, you need to train harder, but you really miss the mark on getting enough nutrition, carbs, protein. Training is just 30 to 40% of it. If you want to be toned, if you want to build muscle, you need 3 very fundamental things. 1, training, especially strength training, is also called as time under tension. You may want to hold some of the positions or add some pulses to some of the exercises that you already do, such as squat hold or slow dips, slow push-ups. Therefore, you put that muscle under tension. It's gonna send a signal to that muscle that it should grow in order to be able to perform that exercise the next time. 2, enough food, especially protein, because it's the thing that grows your muscles. 3, enough sleep. If you miss one of these 3, you're not going to be able to grow muscle. How can you expect a muscle to grow if you don't give it its fuel? Like, it's impossible. Don't be afraid of eating. Healthy food is your friend. I'm speaking especially for women here, because most of the time we get afraid of getting, really bulky, like looking very masculine, like huge muscles or something. So we don't train our upper body enough, especially considering that women usually have the goal of losing some weight, losing some extra pounds. So I completely get it, but if you don't give fuel to your body, you're not going to be able to perform during the day. Also, if you don't eat enough, especially if you skip meals, please don't do that. You're going to be signaling to your body that, oh, there's no food, no nutrients coming my way, so I think I should store some fats for long term, because it seems like there's not gonna be food for me for some time, so I should be prepared for that. This is the message that you're sending to your body. Eating enough and eating regularly is so important, especially if we want to keep our hormones balanced and keep our cortisol levels a little bit, not that high, because when you work out, cortisol goes higher. And then if you want to balance it out, you need to have a snack, like a small portion of food. So please don't be afraid of eating. This is something I've done for such a long time. And I was also not eating enough protein and thinking that, oh, I don't think that I needed that much, because the most important things is vegetables, and I eat enough vegetables and I eat healthy, so it should be enough. No, it's also And no, enough food applies to everyone, not only to bodybuilders. And this actually takes me to my third point, which is don't be afraid of bulking, because you will not. I'm speaking to my girls here. Biologically, there are limits to how much we can get bigger and build muscle by training. And for that, you need to train with heavy weights, and you need to eat so much more, like so much more. And you have to be dedicated for it. It doesn't happen all of a sudden. And just because you decided to do an upper body workout and you have some weights, you're not gonna get bulky. I see so many girls holding themselves back, not training their upper body, not training their thighs and calves, because they only want a bigger butt and a small waist, and it should be all. But in reality, it doesn't work that way, and every muscle group in your body is connected to each other. And if you work out all of the muscle groups in your body, you can have a very balanced and healthy looking figure. I'm gonna give an example from myself so you stop being afraid of training your arms or your back. There was this time, I think close to 4 years ago. It was the first time that I really figured out how to do a push-up, and I built enough strength for it. So back at that time, I was like really in love with doing push-ups. I still love doing push-ups, and I'm not talking about knee push-ups, like regular push-ups. And I've been doing push-ups like everywhere, and I put myself that daily goal that I'm gonna do 20 push-ups every day. I've been doing 20 push-ups every day, and then 30, and then 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. I went up until 80 push-ups every single day. And these are my arms. Do they look masculine? Do they look like a male-like figure? When I was doing 20 push-ups every day, 80 push-ups, and then moving on to some other advanced moves, it was all looking the same. But the muscle got stronger, but the physique and the volume of it didn't change. For some things are mental, and I think it should stay that way. So I mentioned that I got myself into running for the past 3 years, and at this point I think it should be close to 4 years now. So what mostly happens is people do something like a physical activity, and they want to gain something out of that. Nowadays 90% it's something physical, but my reason for running has always has been mental. I just feel like a superhuman when I run. I do it because it makes me feel good. Some people may not be able to comprehend this because running is like a cardio, and most people hate cardio, but I personally love that. It makes me realize how much strength and endurance I can have when I push myself. When I first started, I was not able to run more than 30 seconds, and right now I can run for 30 minutes non-stop. It's amazing. If this is not inspiring, I don't know what is inspiring for you. I don't want to lose weight. I don't necessarily want stronger calf muscles. I don't prepare myself for a marathon. I do it because I want to do it. I also love dance workouts, and I love push-ups. I recently started Aikido. I do it for fun, and I'm not concerned about my security in my day-to-day life. If you want to start an active lifestyle, you can choose whatever you want. There is a very wide range of different options you can choose from, and sometimes you don't even have to have a goal like, okay, I want to lose this much weight. I recently signed up for a marathon for 5K. I know it's like so little because normally when I go out for running, I run about 5 to 6K, so it should be okay for me. Again, I'm gonna be doing it for fun, and some things in life should be just for fun, for your mental health. These are all the things that I wanted to mention in this video. If you want to see a week of my workouts, what I do, I also go to Aikido, so I try to find a balance between Aikido, running, and fitness, and I have some goals for each, and I want to do more stuff, guys. Like 7 days is not enough for me. But anyways, to cut a long story short, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.